Hello, this is Living in the Woods with Täxt, episode 11 today. Yeah, 11. I'm going to start so I don't mix them up and forget which episode it is. I'm just going to record throughout the day and upload this at the end of the day. Today, I decided I'm not going to do hardly anything. I do want to walk over to the big lake and look at that guy's old spot, because I know if you went further back in the spot, he had a view of the big lake. I just wanted to see what that looked like. But I'm just gonna show you the main reason I need to rest right now, I think, is because my feet, I've been doing too much hiking and wearing these sandals, and one day a vine wrapped around my toe and just, scraped against both my toes so hard. And I'm realizing I'm not really supposed to walk, in water with a wound. So, I do it all the time and I don't get sick. But I'll try not to get sick, because I'm 36 now. My birthday was 2 days ago. 36, so I gotta just be careful a little bit and watch my energy. I was just watching Camping with Champion, and I like how he shows his meal and everything in each episode, so I guess I'll do that. I'll show some of the food I got at the food donation center. I already showed you, I like to show my beard and my weed mainly. This is just hemp flower. This is the legal type you can get at the store. Some of them are really good though. Some of them are too light. This one is Northern Lights. It's an indica. I always do indica. It forces me to settle down and relax. Keeps me off of cigarettes. I quit cigarettes and my lungs feel healthy. I still smoke cigars, but I'm telling you, cigar tobacco, I do inhale cigars. I don't inhale them too rough though, and they don't really bother my lungs. They do agitate them a little bit. If you don't smoke, don't inhale tobacco. But if you do inhale tobacco and you're stuck on cigarettes and you're having lung problems, I know they say on these, cigars are not a healthy alternative to cigarettes. Yeah, well, weed is a healthy alternative, and cigar tobacco, I'm just letting you know, is not nearly as bad for you as cigarette tobacco. So the food, I already ate quite a bit of it. I had a lot more. I had some Ritz crackers. I had some fruit cups. I already went through and ate all that. I had a bag of Sun Chips that I ate. These I actually got from my parents' house. My sons eat these, take them to school. And I went to one, there's a closer one. I went to one that was further away for some reason that day, but this one, they gave me some applesauce, they gave me some fruit cups, I got Nature Valley's bars. I also got 2 things of Pop-Tarts. I already ate the Pop-Tarts. I had 2 things of some small canned food that I could open the lid up with my finger instead of using a can opener. And then, these Kool-Aid jammers. I guess I'll save that one. I mean, I didn't eat the applesauce or these, because these are just the most boring food ever. And if I'm really hungry, I'll definitely want it. But it's great backup food. Everything I do, I just put it in these grocery bags and I just tie it like that. I wound up having to actually bury my garbage. I really didn't want to do it. It's not good to do it too much. If you have to do it though, no one's going to beat you up over it, right? Hopefully not, but I'm not going to reveal where I did that. I just like to be honest. So once I had too much garbage, I want to get something to burn it. Once I finish my waterproof living room shelter here, I can't wait to do that. But I'm gonna, plane flying right over me. I'm always paranoid he's watching me or something, but try not to move too much. Hiding under the trees a little bit. Okay, but yeah, that's one of my next investments is getting some tarp, something I can make 4 walls and a ceiling with, and then when I put it up, I'm trying to think of a way to create a hole in it. So, you know, like over here, maybe I can have a fireplace. I'll just put a little fire pit here where I can burn my garbage, you know, inside the tent where no one can see. Because if I'm out here until winter, I'm going to want that inside there to keep it warm. The other thing I can't wait to invest in is a solar. I've been looking online at solar power banks. And yeah, you can spend $400, $500 on one that can charge an e-bike and an air conditioner, or you can get one that's like $200, $100 that charges a laptop and maybe an air conditioner and some other things like little lights. Or I can get one that is just for cell phones that's only like $40. So I'll have to see which one I decide to get, because I don't know if I'm ever going to get an e-bike again or not. It'd be useful, but I'm kind of bound to the job and my kids over here, so you know, if I take a vacation, I'm not going to e-bike cross country. I'm just going to fly somewhere, see the Grand Canyon or something, if I need to go on a vacation, because I haven't been on vacation in a long time, and now I'm living this way, I might be able to actually do that. So yeah, I walk down here just for no reason really, just because it's close by. Felt like walking on my dock here. Don't worry, that garbage, I buried it pretty deep, packed it down real well. I'm not going to do it very much. I'm going to maybe start carrying it back to on my way to work. If I just bring it every time I go to work and throw it in our work dumpster, should be fine. Yeah, not too much action. There's a nice flower there. There's a buttercup right there. That looks like, you know, the flowers that grow from lily pads. I know I could make this dock look better, but I don't want it to look like I'm making anything out here. If someone flies over, I want them to just think it's some old wood they left from off-roading. Because I saw that guy use the pallets, you know, sometimes they use it to get the truck out, put it under the tires, and sometimes they just use it to walk out of the truck without getting wet. Yeah, I've been waiting over a day for my clothes to dry. It rained a little bit, rinsed them off, but there was too many clouds yesterday. Today is going to be a lot of clouds. It's not going to rain until 4 o'clock, so you know, I opened my tent up to air that out. I had to actually sleep on top of my raincoat because my pad was still wet. It wouldn't dry off, and it was a little bit chilly, so I didn't want to sleep out on the lawn chair. I don't have any other injuries to show you right now other than the ticks. You know, I had tons of bites on my legs. But yeah, the bugs out here really aren't as bad as I thought, and I'm not getting too many bug bites now. So yeah, I'm just here chilling at my campsite. I don't have much to show you. I've showed you everything. But I'll record a little bit as the day goes on and just keep you updated. Alright, so yeah, I decided to go for a morning stroll. Right now I'm just at the beach and I thought it was pretty, so I decided to just pull out the camera, start recording my walk. This is just fun to me. There's going to be hundreds of these videos. That way, at least, if somebody does get into it, you can just keep watching it as long as you want. Trust me, I know why people won't and will maybe want to watch this. They might like how real everything is in it, how honest I am. Other people might be really used to people with using drones and camera mounts. Yeah, I just try to hold a nice steady grip on the phone and go over these walks. I know these are going to be just really rocky videos starting off, but clearly the scenery, that I live in is too sunny, too beautiful, too many nice animals, so I have to film it while I'm here. Now that I live out here permanently, more permanently, that nobody can pick on me for making a YouTube video. Yeah, this area, a lot of people are a little bit more conservative. I've heard people use the term Bible Belt, but it's not. This is not the Bible Belt. That's north of here, maybe, but this is kind of, this is like Grand Theft Auto Vice City over here. Really, it's not much different than Miami. It's just parties. Everybody parties. They've always got friends that come down from New York City all the time. But it's a cool place. I love the people in Florida. It sounds really strange to other people when I say that, but yeah, I used to live in one of those northern towns that just had a lot of rude kids in it. And the kids down here, they just seem like they've got better things to do, and it's just more respectful how they treat each other. And people are very southern and sweet down here also. Southern sweetness and kindness is a thing. Back home in Switzerland, where I grew up, yeah, people were very polite in that area. I've heard outside people say that we can be very cold people. I think we just have a dark sense of humor, and our body language gives off an impression that makes us seem like we're being cold, but I don't know if I speak on behalf of all Swiss people, but we're not doing that on purpose. That's just our body language. Most of us are pretty chill, laid-back people, and that's really how it is here in the Central Florida area once you live here a while and get to know the right people. Yeah, leaving the lake right now. I'm not sure if I told you, but I went for a morning stroll. Don't worry, I wore these backup sandals I have. They broke, but I tied them together, and it just doesn't scrape against my blisters. Well, those aren't blisters, those are scabs from a thorn, but from a vine, but oh yeah, but no, I told you I was on my way to that one guy's old spot. This trail right here is actually a dead end. That would be another extremely stealth place to camp, just down at the end of that trail. You'd be good there for a long time. Unless they see you coming in and out of the trailhead. Whenever you go in and out of that trailhead, at least 10-15 cars probably drive by, see you. That trail leads to the main opening to the lake. But yeah, his spot I noticed goes further back, and there were some branches in the way. But if I move the branches out of the way, hopefully I can see what his view of the lake used to look like when he stayed here. Yeah, I waved him over. I was sitting outside eating some food the other day, and I saw him on his bike. He saw me, and I could tell he was wondering, is he homeless now? So I waved him over, and I asked if he was. I had never even actually asked him. I just assumed and seen him panhandling, but yeah, I waved him over. I was able to verify that it was his old spot, and yeah, he was a really nice guy. I've talked to him before. He's not one of those crazy people who's gonna bug you for things. He's got his shit under control. But he oh yeah, he says he makes about $40 to $60 a day when he panhandles. The thing about panhandling is there's only so many intersections that let people do it, and there's one that pays more nearby that he must have used to go to, but people have to share that one because there's too many homeless people in that spot, and the more handicapped ones especially kind of take over that area. So he moved up here and he's got his own intersection. I've only seen him on it, and next time I see him I'll ask him if the police or anybody has forced him to relocate. I don't think would be necessary. His spot, it seems like a real panhandling spot. It looks like a good one. And I think it's good to have awareness, because for years and years there's going to be somebody that, you know, has to panhandle, handicap, loses their ID, felony on their record, doesn't have a driver's license. There's just problems that people, you know, mistakes you make, you know, and 20 years later, you're still stuck with them. So it's up to you if you want to hand him $1 or not, but, you know, that's all you got to hand him is $1. Think about how many cars drives by. Hopefully he gets $40. And I told him that's the same amount I make at my job, about $40 to $60 a day. Here it is. Here's his old spot. Got a tree, big tree branch fell down. I'm not going to dig through his stuff. No way to verify whose stuff is whose or any of that shit. He could even be here for all I know, and I don't want to be nosy. Creep him out, that's not right. Okay, so yeah, this is where I can see it goes to the lake. I'm just making sure I can crawl through here without any spiders getting on me. Yeah, it's fine. Okay, so this must be his main spot. It must have just been his front yard there. I'm gonna be quiet just in case someone is here, because I see a lot of stuff. And I'm holding the camera above his stuff. I don't want to show any of it. Looks like he must have just ditched his campsite. And now I'm forced to show you this part. He's got a tree house up here. Yeah, I must have creeped him out knowing that I found his stupid spot. But no, there's nothing crazy at his spot. I guess it's okay to show it. I just had to hold it over just in case, you know, evidence of something getting him in trouble is here. Oh, I left a knife. Yeah, I left this whole tent. It's actually a box cutter. But yeah, definitely taking that. Definitely taking his box cutter. Yeah, he just must have abandoned this. I thought it was going to be nicer than this. Yeah, I thought he would have a better view of the lake. But he's got a lot of brush and swamp before he can get to it. But yeah, I'm going to get a boat for sure and take it out right around on that lake. Can't wait to do that. I can get a really cheap $40 inflatable boat raft, some paddles online, and I can go all over that lake. That's going to be exciting. But yeah, I definitely contemplated building a tree house out here at one point. That's cool that he actually built one. Looks like it must have broken during the hurricane or something. Maybe he had it set up nice. It was just a nice bench. Nice peaceful place to hang out. I don't want to show his stuff. I didn't dig through it. I dropped my shirt. Yeah, it looks like he just left his tent. He had a portable fan. I'm not going to take that. That doesn't look all that useful. Crawling back through here. hate doing that, but I have to do it sometimes. So yeah, I found a box cutter knife. All I had was nail clippers before. I can use it to whittle a stick down. Something like that. Cut the bark off a stick maybe. On a nice wooden stick. Yeah, it sucks. Yesterday when I was on my way to work, I actually saw a snake, but I couldn't put the video in because I flipped the phone the opposite direction. So I've got to wait even longer to catch a snake. But yeah, it's healthy to go for a morning stroll. I knew this was not a long walk. And part of resting is to exercise. You know, helps you to rest if you exercise a little bit. It's just kind of a concept that goes kind of like how meditation works. You can't meditate when you're just going to sleep. You gotta sit up and you have to think a little bit. And you just turn that into a comfortable state. So yeah, I get up and I walk to keep my legs healthy, and that way when I do rest, I'm getting more benefit. It took a big load of stress off of my mind living out here. I mean, I'm out in the middle of nowhere. All you can hear is the highway and a bunch of bugs. I'll just walk over to that other opening to the lake. Fantasize a little bit about riding a boat out there. I was thinking maybe oh shit, what was I thinking? Oh yeah, I was thinking possibly dipping my body in the lake, you know, swimming in it. Not something you usually do in Florida. There's a couple lakes people swim in. Some people swim in some springs. This is a pretty big lake though, so I'm brave and would consider it. I don't think we have that bug that gets up your urethra. I don't think they have that bug here. It's mainly just if there's feces in the water, too much of that gets in your wounds. It can just get you pretty sick. You get Lyme disease. This is a fairly pure place. There's really not much poop in the water. It's just kind of mud, and if it is poop, it's just, you know, clean poop from the animals that have been eating plants around here. So yeah, if I get a boat, this is where I'll come to launch it. A lot of lily pads. Should still be able to paddle a boat through here though, right? They have some $8, you know, floaties for the pool, but I'm not riding one of those here. I'll get wet, and I really shouldn't swim in this. It's just had some litter over the years. Different seasons and maybe it seems clean, but then different seasons, I don't know, it could get dirtier. Yeah, you can see the water line again, a little bit over there where the water was up. It was actually up over that whole trail. That's just where the water settled during the storm. It probably went twice as high. back when this was dried up, there was sandbars out there, sand all around this, like a huge beach. And I remember walking into that corner. That corner over there has got an opening to a trail that took you to Walmart. And the trail over there, around the bend over there, just has a forest with some bigger, healthier pine trees that you can walk around in. And yeah, I used to think about that. I was like, can you just build a cabin out here? I can tell nobody really coming out here, and if you just go in the woods a little ways, stealth camping, you know, it's just stealth camping. But yeah, the videos I see online of someone building a cottage out in the forest, they're going maybe some of them like 20 miles out with a truck. That's a different story. That's where you could probably build a permanent one. I'm not sure if I already tried this. I'll be careful not to drop my phone, but I'm going to see if I'm able to walk around this puddle. I think there's actually a sponge. I'm just trying to show a sponge. I saw a little piece of it. Yeah, natural sponge, like SpongeBob. They come out of this lake. I remember seeing those a long time ago too. Now that I see it. Probably get a tick on me. I'll just check for ticks when I get home. I guess we'll do some off-roading here. This wasn't a long walk, so I think I can handle a tiny bit of exercise. It'd be funny if I get hurt for the video, but I hope I don't get hurt. Let's see how far back we're able to go. I could go further. It looks like you can break the brush all the way around the trail. I'm getting bit by those, feels like a deer fly, you know, when a deer fly bites you, but it's not a deer fly, but some stupid obnoxious fly. It doesn't leave you an itchy bite. It just bites you and it hurts. And then it goes away. Yeah, on my way here I did get a little bit more hurt though. 1 second I got bit by one of those things, and then 2 seconds later I scraped my leg on those logs near my house. It just reminded me of when I lived in my old house, because I lived in a single wide trailer. You know, my kids were always tearing at the walls and stuff and creating hazards, and I kept scraping my legs and stuff moving around that house. So really I don't get hurt as much out here as I did back then. Alright, I'll cut this segment of the video and I'll pull out the camera if I see anything interesting. Okay, so yeah, checking out the booty we got here at that guy's site. Yeah, it's I don't think it's gonna even work. It's so rusted. Yeah, there's an old rusty blade in there. So that's all I can do with it. I can just scrape something a little bit with it. Yeah, I didn't even bring a knife out here because I guess I don't really need one that bad. Yeah, I just had a tick on my leg. I didn't check for ticks yet. Stupid me. I've never had two at a time, you know, it's always just been one tick. So this knife is gross to me. It's old, rusty. Oof. But yeah, I remember his tree house. We saw his tree house up there. It definitely inspired me a little bit to try to make a tree house, but it just seems so pointless. I think I'd rather just get a drone with a camera on it, fly it up in the air, and be able to see the area. I can't imagine myself just sitting up in a tree house all day. Not here. If I had like a full tree house, that would be cool. Yeah, that bastard tick, he found his way back to my leg already. Like, you can't squish him, so all I can do is get the raid out of my tent. I need to keep it out of the tent, but I put it in and out so I can have it in there when I need it. But yeah, let me focus on making sure this tick doesn't get back on me, and I'll get back to you later. Yeah, these little bastards are invincible. I sprayed him with Raid. He crawled into my shoe. Unless there's a second one, the one crawled into my shoe and died, but I think this might just be that same first one. And I just sprayed it with so much Raid, and look, he's still kicking. It's the only way I know to kill him. I mean, you can't squish them. Unless you squish them perfect, head on. But you know, your finger's too squishy to squish it. He finally stopped moving. Yeah. Oops. I didn't have my phone reversed again. Whatever. I'll just... Here he is. Now he's moving a little bit. Here, let me just cut this so I can reverse. It doesn't let me reverse it while I'm recording. So keep an eye on that guy. I don't know how long he'll stay alive for. There's a little log next to my tent, so I'm using it as a tripod. So since this is living in the woods with Täxt, I figured I would just, record some nonsense on a day I'm resting, just to keep myself occupied. Since I can't work on any music, and I've been watching too many videos, so I'm getting bored of those. So I'm just gonna roll a joint here, and I'll make this kind of a weed video. It's not really a weed video. I keep calling this weed because it's just easy to call it that, but my neighbor, he says, no, don't call it that. It's hemp. It's a different plant. It's not psychoactive. And yeah, there's definitely a difference. When I get my neighbor, sometimes I would run out of this and I would get some medical weed from my neighbor. And yeah, it's pretty strong, that medical weed. And I love to smoke it and make music. And I meet people that they smoke weed, and if it's too strong, it makes them feel uncomfortable. It can freak you out a little bit, like sometimes it makes you self-aware of ailments you have inside your body. It can be disturbing if it's a stronger weed, but this hemp flower, I don't think really would do that even. Hopefully the wind doesn't bother me. That tick stopped moving. Don't know if there's one in my shoe, but I need my shoe as a wind barrier. Because the only thing annoying out here is this wind. I'm trying to roll these joints sometimes. The injuries and shit don't bother me. I've always gotten hurt a lot, in my life. I guess I just don't have a car. Everything's far away, so I had an e-bike. When I got an e-bike, everything changed. Everything was easy. I could finally get around and do plasma. And I ended up just having to ride it so much, it still felt dangerous, and I think some people even that ride those mopeds or that ride motorcycles, but they're just good at riding them, would maybe argue that that's safer because you're less likely to run over a nail, you're less likely to get hit by not being seen by a car. Just depends on how you ride your motorcycle and where. I always felt they were way too dangerous. I'm afraid to ride a motorcycle, but e-bikes, I wasn't too afraid to ride. So yeah, I'll make this just a little. I love YouTube videos where, you know, unboxing, or they, you know, I love the e-bike camper, and they send them an e-bike to test out and take camping. I think that'd be really cool if this video turned into, you know, my whole campsite. It just ends up being sponsored stuff to make everything a little bit safer out here, whatever. So right now I'm just going to test the Northern Lights. I mean, obviously I've already tested it. I've already been smoking it. And what I like with these hemp flowers, or what I look for with them, is something that tastes good. Some of them don't taste, they just don't taste that great. Just a dead bug in that shoe. I don't know, it was a different thing. It wasn't a tick, it was something else, but yeah, they, I look for ones that that just taste good and have a noticeable feeling, kind of like coffee. When you have a coffee and you have a, you know, a feeling, you know, there's no point in smoking if you're not going to get some type of buzz. That buzz keeps me relaxed, and it doesn't bother my lungs as much as smoking straight tobacco all the time. Because if you smoke too much tobacco, your lungs will shrink, they'll get constricted, and it's hard to breathe. If you are very active and outdoorsy and you smoke tobacco and you don't smoke it too much, it's really not nearly as bad. I mean, every person's different. Some people, I think, just have genetics where they're prone to be a smoker, because I think I have a strong appetite for food and I'm always wanting to eat, but I'm not good at being heavy. If I get too heavy, I lose a lot of my flexibility. I can't do all the stuff I'm used to doing. Yeah, I use Clipper, vanilla, cigarette tobacco. I've gone through a lot of different tobaccos. Yeah, I've gone through a lot of different tobaccos. I've tried, you know, like Games, gotten a pack of Games, and just used tobacco from that. But when I roll these joints, the cigarette tobacco burns a little bit better, and the vanilla flavor just makes it really smooth. And then the vanilla flavor just goes with every type of, you know, weed I would ever smoke, so. So yeah, this one, it smells really good. I've had ones that smell slightly better. It smells like a typical indica. It smells like really normal weed. It's not quite as nice as what they call wrapper weed. Wrappers got something that's not quite as strong as medical weed, but it's got a really, really strong, good, tasty flavor to it. It's like candy. It doesn't get nearly as high as medical weed, but that doesn't always smell that great. It just smells too sharp. So, yeah, I love going back to this guy. He's got he's got an eighth. He sells eighths. I think it was $30. And yeah, it keeps me calm, because I have some kind of hyperactivity disorder, something that I was trying to test some medication on, so I wouldn't act all crazy, get angry. I think I was just dealing with some real problems that were making me angry, but they tried to give me medication, and I took a medication that caused me to gain, I think, about 150 pounds. I was 150 pounds heavier than this. Maybe not, I might be wrong, it might have been like 80 pounds, but it was bad, and I lost the weight since then. That was years ago. And yeah, weed can cost a little bit of money. It costs about as much as if you buy packs of cigarettes. I think vapes are cheaper because they last a long time. They just cost a lot when you buy one. These I can buy for $8. I can get a little pack of this weed for $8. Hemp flower, and these are $1.50 for the papers I've been using. I'm really picky about papers. I'm using these. I was using a brand called Bugler for a while because they came with 50. They were smaller. These are wider, and if you roll them sideways, you get a longer joint. And these were 99 cents. That's why I got them. There's only 37 in each pack. I kind of like tops because it's the same size as these, but you get 100 in the pack. But yeah, they cost $2. And these feel like they last a long time. Just having 37 seems like a lot, so yeah, I don't know. It's kind of boring out here, so I'll cut the video and I'll record next time something interesting happens.